Welcome everyone. This is the second of 3 blogs presented by myself, Paul. I work for a company in Cape Town called Micrographics, and we're an Autodesk reseller. And we are looking at the creation of a typical Revit site container, and the acquiring of the coordinates is now the second blog that we are dealing with. And then in the third blog we will look at bringing that design back into the site container. So refer to the first blog just to see how we set up the site container. Now we are within the model where we need to acquire the coordinates. So I like starting with a site drawing. The view range, that's always an interesting view range that one can set for the site drawing. I normally leave mine with about 2 kilometers above the sea level that I slice, and then I look unlimited down onto the earth like that. That gives me a good chance of seeing whatever I'm bringing in. Now I'm going to I see that they've got a what do we have here? Topography. We'll get rid of this topography within the file as well, since this is a sample file from Autodesk, but since we are bringing in our own topography, we will have a look at that. Alright, so what we can do also, I can see we don't see the project and the survey point there, project and the base point. Right there we can see they're quite close to each other there. We can perhaps reset everything in this file. So with the coordinates we can just reset the shared coordinates there. Okay, and then let's bring in the Revit file of interest, which is going to be the container file. You can bring it in even center to center, might be a good idea. And there we can see how the file comes in. Alright, so looking at this file in 3D, let's have a look from the top. Let's make sure the Revit links are visible. Right, so there we can see the topography is floating above the building like that. There we can see. And our purpose over here is to now move this building into position, or move the site into position with respect to the building, and then to acquire the coordinates. So to do that, we work from the site model. And let's suppose that the building is going to sit at the top over here. Then we can choose our link, and we can rotate our link with respect to the building. So wherever we are, choose the place. We can rotate that building as required. Not the building, rotate the site as required. And then translate it into position where we would like that to be. So let's suppose that is going to be the orientation of the building with respect to the site. We would obviously take north into account and solar and everything else, but that is the method that you could do. So rotate and translate in the X and the Y direction to find the appropriate elevation. And then you can go and draw a section through the building. Let's go and have a look at the elevation. That's the detail we want to section. Building section. Okay, so there we can see our topography. The site at the moment is very far above the project. There we can see the project, right? And the idea would then be to move the site down to the approximate height that we need. We move the link down towards the ground like that. So, and let's have a look at that in 3D. Alright, so here we can see the building with respect to the site. Let's just put all of this in a section box. It makes it easier to work with. So, almost there. Alright, so then we just have a look at the building. So here we can see, yeah, it's kind of there, but over here it's maybe a bit too low. Might have to cut out over there. We're basically looking at this part of the building over here to judge. So let's suppose we just want to lift the building up so that at least this floor is clear. Okay, and then we can take that link, start nudging that downwards. There we go. Right, so now we can see the corner of the building is just sticking out over there. Gives us a good chance at having this building being above the ground. There we can do a bit of terraforming and filling and dropping of the design. So it gives us our context for the design with respect to the site at least. And this is now where we want our building to reside with respect to the ground. And so what we would do is we would acquire the coordinates from the link. Right, and we can save that. And one could do the same with any other file as well. So let's close this file. We've got another file that we'd like to do that to quickly, which is the basic sample project. So this is a smaller design, but we'd follow the same process. Go to a site. Let's just duplicate this. We'll switch off the sun and the shadows, make our life a bit easier. Go to view range, set it up to unlimited. Give us a 2 kilometer height. Offset there for the cut above the sea level. That's our view range. We insert the Revit link. We choose the container file, center to center. Right, we can view that in the appropriate manner there. There's our site, and there is our little design. So in this case, actually, it's not badly positioned, but again, we could rotate. We could rotate this design based on whatever orientation we would like. That's the. We've got the house's topography over there that we'll get rid of. Again, it's just a remnant of the previous design. We obviously do not want the topography to be in the in the design model. So we can see the lowest point is, in this case, towards the southwest on this file. We want that house then to sit there towards the southwest of the site over there. We could once again rotate the site into the required orientation. Let's suppose it was something like this. Alright. Let's reset the coordinate system just in case it had any set. Okay. We put a section through there. Then our site drawing. And then we move the site down. So we've rotated and translated in the X and Y. And now we need to reposition the site with respect to the building. Okay, there's our building. There's our site. And let's move this down. Somewhere over there. Once again, we just view the two views with respect to each other. And in the 3D view, let's go have a look at the orientation of that house. Again, to make this easier to work with, we can maybe just put a section box around there. Let's Bravo X-ray. Choose an element on site to revolve around. Okay, so far so good. And we're going to do quite a bit of terraforming over there. There's a big hill there, and if we have carte blanche on the movement of the house around the site, we can always reposition the site with respect to the house to give us a better design or placement, so that we don't have so much cutting and filling to do. Okay, so that looks a bit better, and we need to drop this site. There we can see what it's going to look like. We're almost there, maybe a bit more. So there we go. Alright, so we've got our house positioned with respect to the site, and then we need to, of course, redesign a bit of cutting and filling or whatever is necessary on this design. But we're happy with the position in the X and the Y and the rotation as well as the Z. Then we can acquire the coordinates again from the link. So coordinates, acquire coordinates from the link. Save the file and close. Alright, so we had two examples of acquiring the coordinates from the site container, and in the next blog we'll look at placing them on the or within the actual container. So note that the topography is not native to the design. We've just acquired the design, and the models were just the fully developed models. It's pretty straightforward. Alright, so in the last blog we'll finish up with that.